Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are diving into what is honestly one of the most unbelievable upsets we've seen in recent motorsports history. We're heading straight to the 2026 World Supersport Championship in Portugal. We're going to unpack exactly how a totally unknown brand stepped onto the global stage and just completely redefined the limits of an entire industry. And spoiler alert, it wasn't magic, it was raw, unadulterated speed and some absolutely relentless engineering. Let's get into it. Now, to really appreciate this, you have to understand the sheer wall of skepticism this company was up against. Imagine trying to launch a legitimate superbike manufacturer with just 20,000 yuan. That is barely enough cash to buy a beat-up used commuter bike, let alone build a world-class racing machine. It was literally considered a joke in the industry. Everyone just assumed Chinese bikes could never, ever touch the European or Japanese legends. But you know what? The founder just tuned all that noise out. He put his head down and leaned entirely into pure, hardcore engineering. Just picture the starting grid in Portugal. The contrast is absolutely staggering. On one hand, you've got these absolute legacy titans, the Yamaha R9, the Ducati V2, the Triumph. These are machines with decades of racing pedigree, perfectly mapped configurations, the works. And sitting right there next to them, the completely unproven ZX Moto 820 RRS. They didn't just copy the big guys either. They chose to build a brand new 819cc triple-cylinder engine from scratch. That is a massive engineering gamble. Triples give you this amazing low-end torque mixed with high-end horsepower, sure, but they are notoriously brutal to balance and tune for track performance. Well, right out of the gate, that massive gamble paid off. Rider Valentin Debise absolutely stunned the paddock. He clocked a blistering 1 minute 44.61 seconds. That was the fastest Sector 1 time of anyone on the track. He instantly pulled ahead of reigning Moto3 world champions and guys who have been racing their whole lives. And let me tell you, that kind of insane pace doesn't just happen by twisting the throttle harder. It demands a machine that delivers flawless, totally predictable power right through the apex of a corner. But here's the thing. You don't just wake up one morning and build a world-beating superbike. ZX Moto's journey started in that tiny, mocked workshop and went through years of incredibly quiet, relentless R&D. Think about it. While Ducati and Yamaha were out there winning in the spotlight, spraying champagne and raking in massive sponsorship deals, ZX Moto was grinding away in the shadows. They were tweaking chassis dynamics and perfecting engine mapping miles away from any cameras, all leading up to this historic 2026 entry. It's honestly a masterclass in playing the long game. And the foundation of all this? It wasn't some massive Silicon Valley venture capital fund. It was sheer, desperate drive. Get this. When the founder was just 19 years old, he literally physically blocked a passing journalist just to get some eyes on his racing team. He didn't care about being embarrassed. He didn't care that the entire industry thought he was crazy. He absolutely refused to accept the narrative that Chinese bikes couldn't win. And the big takeaway here, whether you're building superbikes or, I don't know, launching a tech startup, is that sometimes the absolute most critical part of any giant undertaking is just having the audacity to step out the door. You just have to trust that you'll engineer the solutions as you go. Now, you might be wondering, what were they actually missing if they had the drive? Well, it wasn't parts. China already had this highly advanced, super-fast manufacturing supply chain. What ZX Moto completely lacked was what we call the experience database. We're talking about the accumulated telemetry, the hyper-specific suspension geometry, generations of on-track tire degradation metrics. That's the stuff legacy brands guard with their lives. Companies like Yamaha have been hoarding this data for half a century. ZX Moto, they were starting with a totally blank hard drive, zero data. So how do you close a 50-year knowledge gap? Brute force problem solving. Seriously. Since they didn't have decades of historical data to lean on, they just threw sheer human willpower at every single wall they hit. If an engineering problem popped up, say, I don't know, the rear wheel was chattering mid-corner, and they couldn't solve it in a day, they'd push for a week. If a week wasn't enough, they'd chew on it for a month, just running endless dyno tests and track simulations. They literally just outworked the gap, turning pure, stubborn persistence into a high-performance reality. Okay, let's jump right back to the climax of the race in Portugal, because this is where that brute force engineering slammed into the very harsh reality of the asphalt. The Portimão circuit is punishing. It has massive downhill plunges, blind crests, and these brutal off-camber corners that demand perfect chassis stiffness and absolute front tire management. This was the ultimate pressure cooker. It was the moment of truth to see if the ZX Moto 82 RS was just fast on a spreadsheet, or if it was actually invincible under the fire of a world championship race. And man, you have to see how this race unspooled.
Early on, Debise was holding this super narrow 0.3-second lead over the defending Ducati V2. But as the laps kept piling up, the immense pressure just started breaking the veterans. The pole-sitting Yamaha literally crashed out, trying to keep up the pace. Then the Ducati's tires started degrading heavily. Their rear grip basically vanished, destroying their lap times. But the ZX Moto? Mechanically flawless. That triple-cylinder engine delivered power so smoothly that it actually preserved the tire life. This allowed Debise to steadily stretch his lead to a completely insurmountable 3.7 seconds.
Crossing that finish line, they didn't just win a race. They secured a historic first-ever victory for a Chinese brand at the World Supersport Championship. And let's be totally clear, this was no fluke. This was rock-solid, brute force engineering, completely dismantling decades of legacy. By holding off the absolute best riders in the world, they redefined the entire global perception of Chinese motorcycle manufacturing in a single afternoon. They proved, without a shadow of a doubt, that relentless R&D can legitimately topple the old guard.
You'd think they would take a breath and celebrate, right? Nope. Riding the high of this massive victory, the founder dropped an absolutely wild prediction. He stated that within the next 5 years, ZX Moto aims to eat up 50% of the global market share currently held by those legacy brands. Now, normally, that's an incredibly bold claim for a newcomer. But after watching a bike that started as a 20,000 yuan dream systematically destroy the competition in Portugal, let's just say the global industry definitely isn't laughing anymore. Which really leaves us with one final massive question to wrap up this explainer. Can an underdog, a company that literally started with 20,000 yuan in a dream, actually conquer half the globe by 2031? Well, if we base it on their unyielding brute force engineering and that absolutely flawless performance we just witnessed in Portugal, we might just be watching the birth of a brand new dynasty. Thanks so much for joining me on this one. Keep questioning the limits and keep learning.